Jake Paul this past weekend is continuing what he's doing, which is a great hustle. He comes up with compelling and interesting matchups that kind of sound like barroom prop bets, interesting propositions you might hear. Wait, this guy who started boxing 6 years ago is going to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a guy who 13 or 14 years ago was potentially looked at as someone that could emerge as a top up and comer and someone that could carry the sport forward, albeit Chavez has had his own demons, etc., etc. It's still interesting because he's facing people who had ambitions of being great fighters at one point and went through a traditional schooling of it. Now you add in that he has a size advantage, you add in that, whatever you want to add in. I still think there's a level of balls Jake Paul has that no one gives him credit for because he's getting in with guys who might be over the hill, they might be smaller than him, but they're proud people who had fighting careers, and he's getting in there and doing it. Now, the same part is I'm not all that excited when his fights happen. So I appreciate what he's doing. I appreciate the courage it takes. It's strange when he's the last fight on a card because I think I went to bed before the fight was over. It didn't really mean much to me. Interesting to kind of see where he goes next because this point in his career reminds me of when he knocked out Nate Robinson and he had to transition to MMA fighters because fighting just celebrities, he leveled up too quickly and he was too good, so the public demanded better fights. Now I think he's kind of leveled up past over the hill professional fighters or veterans of some sort, and people kind of want to see him take that next step. And I'm curious to see, because the matchmaking for Paul has been rather ingenious, I'm curious to see what that next step looks like in Jake Paul's career.